And I think for a father and son to have to discuss things at that level without a camera is difficult. But to do it with a camera present, I think it can change things. Can you tell us a little bit about how Carlo approached you with the idea to make a documentary, and what were your reasons for agreeing to it?
Well, this was something that Carlo came up with the idea because at that point I was emotionally involved with my mother's sickness, and he started talking, and then my mother passed away, and then he started seeing my situation, and then he started talking to me, and I started talking to him about it, and then he asked me if I don't mind that we put this in a film. So he was just coming out of university, and he said that this would be the first one, and I wasn't too sure about it, but I say, okay, if this film will help somebody in any way, I will do it.
I'd love to take questions from the audience. I'm sure there's a few. So go ahead and raise your hand, and if there are any. Yeah, we'll go to you and then to the back. Go ahead.
Hi, Tio, soy yo. Una pregunta. I'll translate my question after. I want to do it in Spanish.
Thanks, I couldn't do that.
Viendo la película tantas veces, pasando por el proceso con Carlos, ¿te ha cambiado algo de perspectiva? O sea, ya, y ahora cuando te ha cambiado, ¿cómo ves? ¿Cómo te sientes tú? I asked him if having gone through the process of making the film and having seen it so many times, if his perspective has changed at all.
Of course, yes. I will say it's a big change because I've been looking things in a totally different way. I've been learning how to cope with it myself on my own, and seems like I don't really know if I have the sickness or I don't have the sickness. If I give my own opinion, I think something is there, but the doctor says otherwise. And as I said in the film, they don't have the experience on younger persons having this. Anyway, saying that, yes, the film did change quite a bit. And I see things totally different way. And I mean, I go to Chile, I run my horses, I go to rodeos, I do some polo, and thanks to part of the family that they took care of the business because that was not going well. And I have to thank my dad about that because he did not give his business, he didn't pass the business to us at the moment that he should, and the business went down. So seeing that, I did that, I passed it on to my family, and I stay back and be just gives an opinion that sometimes they don't even like to hear it. But yeah.
There was another question up here. Go ahead.
The same one.
All right, over to this side. Go ahead.
When you were in the doctor's office and he made it clear to you that you didn't have Alzheimer's and he gave you this information, it seemed to me like you were almost disappointed that you didn't have it. And because I think you lost your justification for your preoccupation with dying. Were you disappointed?
Not at all. No, I mean, I tell you just a very short answer. I was very, very confused because as other doctor told me before, you have this and you have that, and at one point they told me that my brain it was not receiving enough oxygen in my brain. This was an opinion of another doctor, And when this doctor come up to me and say, well, you don't have anything. Your situation is only anxiety and maybe depression and things like that. So at that point, it did confuse me. But the time carry on, and then this is what seeing the film and talking and thinking about it, things start to change a little bit. I start to realize that I have to look at a different way. But at that moment was only confusion.
Do you have other questions? Yes, go ahead right here.
It disturbs me a little the idea that there's parties in the film, I think that, and I'm not judging you because we're the city, because we have the right to choose whatever we want with our life, but also I would like to know what you think now, because it seems to be that people who have Alzheimer or who are older or who are sick or who get attacked by any disease in life, like being stricken by blindness, in my case, for example, when I was 45. Does it mean that we are not supposed to live because we are a burden? Or what do you feel about those issues now?
I totally respect what you're saying. I mean, and I said it in the film, and I keep saying it. I'm not trying to convince anyone to do or to think the way I think. I think in my mind that it's tomorrow they tell me that I have Alzheimer or I have any disease, mentally disease. In any way, I will look my way out. I will think the same way that I'm thinking, and I'm not going to go through it. It's something that when I start thinking that is very emotional, and tell you the truth, it's difficult. To me, taking the life is something that is a natural death, and I can keep going and going, but at the end is quality life is what I think that people should have.